What's up bafflers, James here. They say life is an adventure, so why not capture your point of view? Today we're going to look at the Akaso V50 Elite. This is a brand new model from Akaso that promises high-end features for a low price. 1080p at 30 frames is all well and good, but how about filming at a massive 4K at 60 frames per second? 4K is 4 times the resolution of 1080p, and 60 FPS offers silky smooth motion, perfect for sports and action. I'm planning to use this as my front-facing camera, as my SJ Cam M10 had a huge 170 degree wide-angle lens, which is ideal for my setup. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work anymore, so I thought it was a good chance to upgrade. I've not tried Akaso action cameras before, so let's see what they have to offer. As always, you'll find the best Amazon deals around the world using the Genius link in the description. Let's take a look. I do usually like these boxes because you can tear this right across, but as there's a battery warning, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll give it a try. Let's see. Okay. I think this warning basically means there's a rechargeable lithium battery, I guess. I'm not sure, I'm not an expert on postal warnings. If you know what this means, let me know in the comments. Also, this is making the camera rumble a bit. Okay, let's see what's inside. Here we go. So here is the action camera itself, enclosed in some nice transparent packaging. Very thick actually. Akaso Action Camera V50 Elite. This has voice control, which is interesting. We'll have to try that out. So it's showing someone doing some surfing. Obviously they want this camera so they can go ahead and film the waves. All very exciting. So the best thing about this camera is that it offers native 4K at 60 frames per second. This isn't upscaled or interpolated or all the other technical terms that I like to bung in. This is native 4K, so it actually records in 4K. That's the most important part. So it has 60 frames per second as well. We have electronic image stabilisation. It also features a waterproof to 131 foot case. That's very, very deep. With the beauty of editing, I'll convert that into metric, but yeah, that sounds quite deep. So we have a remote, which is splash proof. Download the app Akaso DV in the Google Play or Apple App Store. Specifications: integrated wireless network, adjustable viewing angle, display 2-inch IPS, basically means that you can view the camera's screen at a better angle. So say if you're off the edge of the camera, it doesn't go all sort of misty and dark. This monitor here is actually IPS. It's not that you can really tell, but it is slightly to one angle and it's not changing the colour. Definition 4K. Video 4K 60 frames per second, 4K 30 frames per second, 2.7K at 60 frames per second, 2.7K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 120 frames per second. That's actually quite interesting. So you can take 1080p video and slow it right down. If you've got 120 frames per second, that's a lot of frames to play with. It goes even further than that. At 720p, you get 240 frames per second or 120 frames per second optionally. So, photos, if you want to take photos with your action camera, that's fair enough. 20 megapixels, that is a lot of megapixels. 2 times 1050 milliamp hours, so they actually provide 2 batteries. Multi-language, yes. Storage, micro SDHC card, not included. I've actually bought another SD card right here. Mounts and accessories included. Input, output, micro USB and HDMI. So with the micro SD card, you want to have a class 10 card, ideally a V30. So you achieve the right sort of speed for 4K video. And there we go. The camera is actually pre-attached to the mount, which is appropriate, and it's also included inside its waterproof case. Some cameras are waterproof from the actual camera itself, but I do prefer these waterproof cases. It kind of gives you a bit of peace of mind. So, I like how it's connected in it. How do you actually take this off? And there we go. So there is the action camera. So I'll put the camera to one side, we'll check that out later. But in the box we have lots and lots of accessories. I do like that they've provided it inside a box as well. You can always reuse the box if you want to keep everything safe. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, don't do that. So you definitely have lots of accessories to choose from. In the box you'll find one Akaso V50 Elite action camera, one remote control, two 1050 mAh batteries, one waterproof case, one battery charger, one bicycle stand, 7 mounts, one clip, one helmet mount, one tether, 5 bandages, one protective back door, one USB cable, one lens cloth, and one quick reference guide. The first things first, we've got a quick reference guide. So it gives you a step-by-step instruction on what to do. So first of all, download the Akaso DV app from the Apple App Store or Google Play. Then remove the camera from the provided waterproof casing. Step 3, place the batteries into the battery charger. It looks like it can actually charge 2 batteries at once, which is actually really nice. Step 4, once the batteries are charged, place the battery into the camera. Step 5, place the microSD or TF card into the camera, and then finally switch on and record or take a picture. Nice and simple, hopefully. You can scan the following QR code to enter the website to download detailed user manual, and you can also contact us, so it gives us a contact right there. The camera comes pre-installed into this waterproof case. What you have to do to remove the case, you've got this front bit here, you lift this part here and it removes this section at the back. So what happens then, you can just simply open the door. So the door just opens like that. One thing to note before you start using the camera, I'd recommend removing any of these plastic seals as it might cause blurriness. I can't get the camera, I can't get it out. Come on. Okay, here we go. It's a very snug fit. So let's remove the seal. That new seal feeling. But the camera has a very nice simple design. I do like it though, it looks very classy, and I like this little red design here. It just makes it a bit more individual. It's all rubberized at the side as well with a nice sort of grip, which makes it easy to use. And you've also got a tripod mount right here, so you don't have to get a separate attachment to attach the camera to a tripod, which is actually really good to see. Also, my voice has gone well croaky. You may have noticed that the Tech Baffle logo has just disappeared. I'm not sure how long it's disappeared for. On the front, we've got the power on button and the lens. 4K 60 frames per second. Not sure if there's some lights here. It kind of looks like it. V50 Elite from Akaso. You've got up and down buttons here. I assume that's either a speaker or a microphone. Maybe a speaker here and a microphone at the top. That would kind of make sense. At the bottom, you've got the tripod mount and the battery door. I'm not sure, is that another light? On the back, we have the display, the IPS display. Something I've literally just noticed, I'm not quite sure what's going on with around the screen here. It's been glued here, but it's not very good quality. It's quite jaggedy. It's not smooth, which is a bit, it's not really a deal breaker, but it's a bit irritating. So the battery door slides and has a nice spring mechanism. Place the battery in there. So before I switch on the camera, I need to insert a micro SD card. For this camera, I've decided to get a Toshiba micro SD card. I've got a 32GB option. You can get a choice out of different sizes. I'll put a link in the description for this micro SD card. So Toshiba is the inventor of flash memory, so hopefully they should be able to know what they're doing. So micro SD HC card with adapter. Read speed up to 90 megabytes per second. 4K for 4K video recording. The reason why this SD card is such a great fit for this camera is because it's waterproof, X-ray proof and shock proof, which are 3 things which you probably need for an action camera, especially if you happen to go through X-rays, maybe like an airport. It's UHS Speed Class 3, Class 10, which is perfect for 4K video recording. Lots of specky stuff on the back here. I just realised there's a guideline here for cutting and I've just completely messed it up. Oh well. What I have noticed is that this Toshiba card actually features a 5-year warranty, which is really nice to see. The micro SD adapter and the micro SD card itself. Pretty sure you know how an adapter works. So let's take it out here and place it in the side of the Akaso V50 Elite action camera. So we've got the battery and the SD card installed, so let's go ahead and switch it on. Very quick to start up, I must say. The first thing you're greeted with is the IPS display. Now the good thing about the IPS display is the fact that you can view it from loads of different angles and it doesn't go all dark or discoloured, which is really useful if you've got your camera set up and you're viewing it from a certain angle. You can still see what's going on really easily. So by default it's set to 4K at 30 frames per second. So this camera features a touchscreen, so what you need to do to adjust the settings is to press the icon on the right here. Do we press the button on the top or do we just tap it? You just tap it. So you've got 4K at 60 frames per second, 4K at 30 frames, which is set by default. So if you want to switch to 4K 60 frames per second, just press that and we're all sorted. So notice when you do select 4K at 60 frames per second, some settings are disabled, like image stabilisation. So if you want to use that, you have to set it at 4K at 30 frames per second, then those options come back.
The Akaso V50 Elite is a stylish matte grey design with a red highlight near the lens. Next to the 4K badge are two indicator lights. It also has a touchscreen, although buttons can still be used for underwater. The touchscreen isn't the most responsive, but generally works well. The IPS display is bright and clear. The overall feel of the camera is good, using good quality, rubberized and smooth materials. The lens and display are both made of glass. Batteries charged, let's record some footage. If you have really speedy internet, please watch in 4K 60 FPS. The original 4K footage is also available in the description. Electronic image stabilisation. It will crop a small portion out your video but makes footage a lot better for movement.
This is 4K at 30 frames per second, which also enables the function of image stabilisation. On 60 frames per second it's not available. This is with image stabilisation turned on. So before you're watching the normal footage, and this is with image stabilisation on. It's 4K at 30 frames, and this is without any image stabilisation. So this is all default settings without image stabilisation, so it might be a little bit shaky. I'm just holding it on a miniature tripod, so I try to keep my arm relatively still, but just walking around normally. This is now with image stabilisation turned on, so it should look a bit smoother. Again, I'm just holding it on a miniature tripod and just holding the camera outwards.
There's a huge difference between weather, but that's England for you.
So this is all using the camera's built-in image stabilisation.
It really was that hot and sunny, and it rained. This wasn't planned, but yeah, it still works. Angle modes. The Akaso V50 Elite has 3 options from wide to narrow angle.
This is wide field of view, medium angle, and narrow angle. Also, it's worth noting that it's actually quite windy at the moment, even though it's sunny, so there might be some wind noise in the video.
Waterproof case test. I don't have a swimming pool and a local river isn't ideal. Time for freezing cold water using the hose. Make sure the camera was completely submerged in the water. It lives! Using the Akaso DV app. This connects over Wi-Fi. First you need to hold the camera's top button for a few seconds. It will then say Wi-Fi open. Next go to your phone's Wi-Fi settings and connect to Akaso. It will then say ready. Download the Akaso DV app from Google Play or the Play Store. Open the app, select your camera, then you're ready to go. With the app you can view a live feed with a slight delay. You can also press record wirelessly and change settings. For a live feed you also have a micro HDMI port. The app also lets you download videos and photos. And this works very well. 4K footage is big but transfers well over high-speed internet. If you're looking to upload on Facebook or Instagram, I recommend shooting in 1080p instead. Using the remote control. Make sure BT is enabled in the camera settings. The remote can then be worn like a watch, allowing you to press record over Bluetooth. camera also has voice recognition,
Action, stop video.
start or stop recording, and more. Slow motion, 120 frames per second, no editing. The camera renders at 1080p 30 frames per second. Slow motion, 240 frames per second, this time recording at 720p 30 frames per second. Fast motion speeds up the footage, with the option of 2, 4, 6, 10 or 15 times. Time-lapse takes photos every so often, with the option of 1, 3, 5, 10, 30 or 60 second intervals. With wide-angle cameras you get what's known as a fisheye effect. Using distortion calibration helps, but does crop some of the image. This is a test with image calibration turned on. You can only use this in 4K 30 frames, so it won't work in 60 frame mode. Panning the camera isn't great, so with distortion calibration switched on, it's much better. Photos. The camera takes photos really well, although it looks very fish-eyed. Quite a cool effect though. Not ideal for close-up photos, but colours are vibrant and the image is sharp. Overall, the Akaso V50 Elite is a great action camera with plenty of functionality. It can record in 4K at 60 frames per second, which is amazing for the price. Its user-face and app are easy to use. The full waterproof case is high quality with a glass lens. It also has a touchscreen, although buttons can still be used for underwater. The touchscreen isn't the most responsive, but generally works well. The overall feel of the camera is good, using quality rubberized and smooth materials. The lens and display are both made of glass. The built-in microphone isn't great. My camera seems to make the right channel slightly louder than the other, but that could be a firmware issue. If you're looking for 4K at 60 frames per second, be careful because many cameras claim that and only upscale a 1080p picture. The Akaso V50 Elite, on the other hand, records in native 4K at 60 frames per second, which looks very sharp and vibrant. I was really impressed by the footage. If you're looking for a budget action camera that records in 4K 60 frames per second, get the Akaso V50 Elite. At this price, you can't go wrong with heaps of accessories, a remote control wristband, 2 batteries and a twin battery charger in the box. Thanks for watching. Remember, you'll find the best Amazon deals around the world using the Genius link in the description. If you're new around here, hit subscribe and ding the bell icon to never miss out on another video. A true baffler isn't complete without some sweet merch from techbaffle.com/shop. That's all for now. Drop a like if you've enjoyed this video. Any questions, let me know down below. Until next time, follow me at TechBaffle and stay curious at techbaffle.com.